Our first afternoon session, though, examines the grocery market reset, what it means for producers and also for retailers. So it's a fundamental element of building our domestic market. So we are going to welcome Pierre Van Heerden to the stage. He's appointed New Zealand's Grocery Commissioner in 2023, has served 10 years as a board member on the Grocery Council of New Zealand. Pierre also has extensive executive experience, having served as Executive GM of Sanitarium New Zealand and senior roles with Sanitarium Australia, where he worked closely with international wheat growers. He understands the grocery world from paddock to pantry, and today he's going to discuss how new regulation aims to rebalance power between producers and retailers. So this conversation is about collaboration. There is a lot of information, Pierre tells me, on the slides, so these will be available afterwards as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Pierre Van Heerden.
Kia ora koutou, and thank you for coming to attend this session. It seems like you must have had a good lunch, and I'm glad to hear that you're still all awake. As was said, there's a lot of information on the slides, so we've made them available for you to take away today and to take a look in detail if you want to. I'll be covering the top line of the slides just to give you a bit of an overview and also have time for questions at the end. So what I'll do today is go through an introduction in terms of what the Grocery Industry Competition Act means, the context of the work that we've been doing over the past 2 years. We'll talk a little bit about the Grocery Supply Code and also the wholesale supply inquiry that we've currently got underway. Now, the overview of our work is really based on a lot of what we're hearing from suppliers and from people like yourselves. So it's really important that we hear from you, and I will be providing some contact details at the end as well. So there's a lot of work that we've done over the past year, and when I look at the introduction of the code, it was really of the Grocery Industry Act. It was done so that we can promote competition within the grocery sector, and this includes specifically promoting the relationship between supermarkets and suppliers, because that's a really crucial part of what we do within the industry. We recognize that as growers, the domestic market is very important for you as well. So we will be looking at all the advocacy that you've done and that Horts New Zealand has done on your behalf as well, so that we can make sure that we take that into account in the work that we do. I'd like to just quickly show you what the Commerce Commission covers, because a lot of people sort of hear about the Commerce Commission, but you don't really know all the detail that's in behind that. And there's a lot of different areas within the Commerce Commission, and you'll see that grocery is down in the right-hand corner there. We draw on the expertise of everyone within the Commission. So we have got telecommunications, dairy, airports, and a whole lot of different regimes that we all look at to make sure that as we look across the economy and across the market, that we work as one commission. And you might hear that we're doing something in one area. It doesn't mean it's exclusively in that area. So for instance, when we look at groceries, the grocery area covers from fair trading, the Commerce Act, and the Grocery Industry Competition Act. So there's quite a broad range there. So I sit on a lot of different areas within the Commission to ensure that we've got consistency on the Commission as well. So when the Grocery Competition Act was introduced, it was really done to do a number of things. The first is the Grocery Commissioner role was established. Now, that doesn't mean that I take decisions by myself. When we are working through issues, it's a group of commissioners that work on the various aspects that we are looking at. The requirements were aimed at enabling new competitors who want to compete against the supermarkets to enable them to get some wholesale access to products. It's really important that the relationships between the supermarkets and the suppliers is also regulated, and that is done in terms of the supply code. And we also have a lot of information gathering and enforcement powers so that we can shine a light on the industry where necessary. And you would have seen on a number of occasions where we raise issues in the media or give our expectations on what we would expect in a competitive market. So what's been the progress? What have we done over the past 2 years? We've listed a number of the main things on these next 2 slides, but they're really the top line aspects, and I'm not going to go through and talk about each one of them in detail. There's a whole range of things that we consider within the Commission, and these are some of the areas that we are working through at the moment. So this outlines some of the other work that we do as well, and the important thing that I just want to highlight on this slide is the anonymous reporting tool. We have recognized that there's a fear amongst suppliers and within the industry to come forward and raise issues with us for fear, rightly or wrongly, of potential consequences if they did come forward. So we've got the anonymous reporting tool. If you want to use that, we encourage you to do that. I just want to point out that recently I was told by one supplier that they used the reporting tool and they got a note back to say we've received their information, but that they haven't heard anything further back from us. Now, the reason for that is it's an anonymous reporting tool. We can't contact you. You get an automatic response right at the beginning when you put your complaint or issue into the tool. But post that, we can't actually contact you to say, can you give us more information, or what is happening in terms of if we launched an investigation. So if you want further information, please contact us directly and provide us with the information, and then we can keep you up to date on what is happening as well. There's also the government-led process that Honourable Nicola Willis has kicked off in the supermarket industry. And this is separate from what we do at the Commerce Commission, but we work closely together and take a look at what's happening within that area. And naturally, both of these are aimed at improving competition in the market. So it's an important process, but it is important to understand that it is separate to the work that we do at ComCom. So the Grocery Supply Code, we've launched a review of the code, and the code is in place for almost 2 years now. It was modelled on the Australian code, and the Australian code was modelled on the UK code. And what we've focused on in the code is how major supermarkets deal with the suppliers, as I've said earlier. It's intended to promote fair conduct, prohibit unfair conduct, promote transparency and certainty, so that the agreements that suppliers have with supermarkets gives them certainty and some form of assurance that they can compete effectively and confidently in the market. So it's an important part of the whole regime. And when we look at what has happened within the code, the process that we've done is we have instigated a review. We are going through taking a look at what has happened. We've also already put in our first report and also our recommendations. So there's been submissions and cross-submissions, and we are listening to what suppliers are saying and what the supermarkets are saying, because we don't want unintended consequences when we put our report out. Now, this report is due at the end of September. We'll be providing that to the Minister, and then we will also publish that report to show what our decision is in terms of what we have found and whether we believe that the code should be changed. So that's end of September that will come out. Horticulture New Zealand has also provided input on this, and it's important to recognize that some of the aspects that have been raised by Hort New Zealand aren't actually covered with the current code. And we've noted those, and we will certainly be including that in our report to make sure that we highlight those and see what can be done about those issues. In Australia, there have also been quite a few investigations and reports that have come out, especially on the fresh supply chain, and we're keeping a close eye on what's happening in Australia, because some of the aspects that they're looking at are exactly the same that we would like to look at, but aren't currently covered within our remit. So we will be looking at those very carefully as we move forward as well. And I know one of the examples that was used for yourselves is the whole crate issue with supermarkets saying which crates are allowed and which aren't allowed. So those are all things that we would like to hear about and take a closer look at. So the cross-submissions have been received already, and we are working through those as we speak. And we will be making sure that all of the aspects from various sectors are captured in the report. So on the wholesale inquiry, we've had a wholesale inquiry because we believe that the wholesale regime that's put in place by the Act wasn't working effectively, and we wanted to dig into that a little bit deeper. So we've got the inquiry still open, and the final date for submissions is end of this week. So if there's anything additional that you'd like to put in, it's due by Friday this week. So it's important that, people like yourselves do raise your voice and tell us what the issues are for you. Because I recognize that the issues that you face as suppliers of fresh produce is quite different to those in the dry grocery sector as well. When the initial Act was put in place, I think it was focused on the broader sector within the supermarkets, but because many of you supply to wholesalers and the wholesaler then supplies through to the supermarkets, there is a difference, and I know that some of you feel that you aren't covered by things like the supply code because of that intermediary that is in there. So we're looking at ways, how can we make sure that we've got a market where the suppliers are confident, willing to invest, and willing to compete. I'd like to just end off by saying we really value each of your input, and it's important that we hear from you, because that's what determines the work that we do, but also any changes that we recommend to the government. So we've got a few ways that you can contact us. You can contact us directly, or you can go through the anonymous reporting tool, just bearing in mind it is anonymous. And you can also work through Horticulture New Zealand, of course, and provide your input through to them. We also did a survey on the supply code, and I think there were around 50 suppliers that responded to that. Now, the way that we sent it out was we got the supermarkets to provide us with all the details, and that is how they were received. So if you haven't received a report, or a survey at least, and you want to in future, please let us know as well, because we can make sure that we include you in the group that get that. So I'd welcome any questions, if there are any questions from anyone. I've covered it on a very high level, but hopefully it gives you a little bit more information on what we are doing within the sector.
We've got 90 seconds for questions. Oh, there we go. Oh. We're just grabbing you a microphone. Yep, just at the front table here. And then there's just one over there, Kate. So we'll take these 2 questions and then we'll jump through.
Up here, this code of conduct, it's going to be a mandatory code of conduct, isn't it? And how does it affect the smaller growers, like growers that actually supply in the wholesale market, who then supply the supermarket?
The code is mandatory, and that's where the New Zealand code is ahead of the Australian and the UK code. Australia, when they brought theirs in, it wasn't mandatory. Ours is mandatory. With the smaller suppliers who work through someone else, there's a gap. And we recognise that, so we will, in our report, in our review, indicate to the Minister that there's something that needs to be done in terms of that gap. Because, yes, the smaller supplier who doesn't deal directly with the supermarket isn't covered by the code.
Thanks, Pierre, for that. Just wondering, in Australia, they're looking at margin equity. Is ComCom going to look at margin equity?
At the moment, what we're doing is we're looking at total margins of supermarkets. We don't go into the detail of margin equity, but we keep track over a longer term to see are margins increasing or decreasing. It is, however, an area that we are looking at whether we do more work on the margins, because I think it is an important aspect, as you could have seen when the butter price shot up, what's going on there, questions get asked. So it's certainly something we have in mind and we will look at, but we've got limited resources, and at the moment we're focusing them on the issues that we believe can make the biggest difference in the shortest time, but certainly something to bear in mind. I think there's one question.
Hang on, just wait till we've got a microphone heading your way. We have got time for this one last question.
Yep.
How would you describe the trajectory of margins over that long term, and is it a concern?
Over the longer term, what we found in our latest annual grocery report, and if you haven't seen that yet, you can get it on our ComCom website. They'd been growing for a number of years, but over the last year actually came back fractionally. So that is a good thing, and it shows that there is some movement in there, but certainly something which I think we need to delve into a lot more.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Pierre Van Heerden, give him a round of applause.